Hello, hello, how are you? Welcome to art class. I hope you're doing great. We have another project for Mother's Day today, so if there are any moms in the room or any grandmothers, please leave the room or ask them to leave. You want to be sneaky with this so you can surprise them, okay? So let's make sure that they're not watching this and we'll get started on our project. So we're going to make a card today which is a pop-up tulip. I know you know what a tulip is, but you may have forgotten. It's a type of a flower. So you're going to learn how to make a pop-up flower, and you're going to need these things. You will need 3 pieces of paper. If you only have printer paper, that will work. But if you have something like drawing paper or construction paper, which is a little heavier, a little thicker, then that would be good. So we need 3 pieces of that. We need a pencil. We need a piece of just scratch paper, maybe about this size. We need watercolor paints if you have them, and scissors. Okay, so can you please go and gather those items, and I'll meet you back here in a minute after I get my camera all changed up, and I'll show you how to make this. Okay, here we go. Welcome back. You will need these first 3 items: your scratch paper, your scissors, and your pencil. This is a piece of paper I had from something else. It doesn't matter if there's anything written on it because it's just a scrap. I want you to fold it in half, please, and then we're going to draw a tulip that will be something that you can, it's called a stencil. You can trace what we make here onto your other paper to cut out a bunch of tulips. So you're going to start, notice how big this is first, by the way. It's almost as big as my hand, okay? So you want a piece of paper that is about as big as your hand. You're going to start towards the top on the fold. This is the fold on the right-hand side. Remember, we folded it in half. Your fold is here. You're going to put your pencil towards the top of the fold, and you're going to draw a line that comes diagonally down about like that. Let me redraw that with a Sharpie because I don't think you can see it very well. So you're going to start up here, up towards the top, and you're drawing a line that kind of curves a little bit, but curves down some. Okay? Then from the curve, you're going to take the line back up and out like this. Kind of looks like a weird V. You could tell Mr. Vidal, we made a tulip and it has a V for Vidal in it. See what he says. Okay, then you go back to where you ended up. You're going to curve in just a little bit and then go out and down to the bottom of the paper. Okay, now if you need to see that again, just rewind and you can watch that again. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. It's okay if any of this black line shows in the cutout, because like I said, this is just a stencil. That means it's something that we're going to trace. Okay, so let me cut this out. You can cut yours out, or you can watch the video and cut yours out at the end. Get rid of that. Here's that V. And let me go in this way. Okay, so let's get rid of these scraps, and when you open this up, you have this. This is about the size and shape of our tulip. If you notice that it is a little funny in some places, like right here, I don't really like that shape. You can round it out a little bit if you didn't cut it right or draw it right. Also, if it turns out that it's a little too big for your paper, you can trim it down. I'm going to trim mine down just a touch. You don't have to yet, but I just want mine a little smaller. There we go. Okay, so it looks like this, okay, or on the colored side. You don't need a colored side. Like I said, this is just a scrap. Okay, now put that aside for a minute, and now you have on the white paper that I asked you to have, I would like you to fold it. Don't pay any attention to this color yet. I'll tell you about that in a minute, but I want you to fold it in half, line up the corners, fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. Lining up the corners each time and then folding it. Okay, put that aside. Same thing with your other one. Don't pay attention to that color yet. I'll tell you about that in a minute. You're going to fold it in half, lining up the corners. Make a nice fold. and then fold it in half again. Okay. Then, when you open it up, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4 sections on each of your 2 pages. And in each of those 4 sections, I want you to paint colors. It doesn't have to be tidy. It doesn't have to come all the way up to the edge. Let's try not to overlap the colors, but keeping them separate, paint them in different colors that you might think of for flowers. Okay, so on this page I have pink and green, yellow and purple, and on the other page I made some purples and some blues. Okay, so once you have finished painting those and letting them dry flat, maybe out in the sun somewhere, you're going to bring them back in here. You're going to refold them again, and let's fold the other guy. They need to be dry first, so make sure they're dry. Then you're going to take your tulip that you made and you're going to trace it one time. This is folded up, and I'm putting it right in the middle of the paper, and I'm going to trace around it. Take your time. Okay, and you're going to trace it on both, and then you're going to cut both of these out. Okay, so I'm going to put the video in fast motion while I do this so that you don't have to watch me cutting forever. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're back. So now you will have 8 beautiful flowers. The next step is each one of these flowers, I need you to fold it in half down the middle. So carefully fold it, lining up these corners here like this. These corners right here on that petal. Fold that in half, and go ahead and fold all of them in half. Okay, so you have them all folded. They kind of look like sort of like little birds or something. Like this is the beak, and maybe that's a wing to me when they're on their side like that. Okay, so now this is when you're going to need your third piece of paper. I forgot to get mine, so hang on a second. I'll go get it and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's move all these guys out of the way. Here's our third piece of paper, and I have it set up this way. Remember, this horizontal direction is called landscape. It's not tall like that. I want it this way, and then please fold it in half like a book. Make sure you line up your corners. This is going to be the card, and on top of the card, on the front, you're going to have the tulip. So you want to make sure you have all your pieces. You have your card. This is the fold here, so make sure it opens like a book. Fold is here on the left, opens like a book. And you will need your glue stick. Okay. What you want to do is find, this is about the middle of the paper. Whoops. Let's go a little bit higher than the middle because you're going to make a stem down here. So we're going to glue this up a little bit higher than the middle. And whenever we glue anything, we do not put the glue on this piece, on the base or the bottom piece. We put the glue on the little item that we're sticking on. The reason why we do that is because we don't quite know the exact size and shape of this. And if we just smear a bunch of glue on here, you'll end up with a messy card. So what you want to do is put the glue onto your tulip. Just one half of it. Okay, I'm getting it all the way to the corners. Alright, and then when I pick it up, I want to glue it so the fold is here. Your card fold is on this side, but your tulip fold is here. So remember, we're putting it, line it up in the middle, but a little bit towards the top, and press that on. Okay? So we have like this. Now, pick the next one. You might want to look and see what color you choose, because maybe you don't want all your pinks in a row. Maybe you want to mix up different colors. Okay, so here's my next one. This is how it's going to go. So I like to put it on here first, so I make sure I put the glue on the correct side. So I know it's going to go that way, which means I have to turn it over to put the glue on this side. I'm going to show you this about 7 more times. So if you got confused, you'll get to see it again. Okay, so it goes right on top. If you cut a little weird and they're not all exactly this, the same size as each other, maybe they got a little bit crooked, it's okay, because in nature the flowers are not perfect. Okay, so we have this one. Line it up with whatever your new one is going to be to make sure, and then just carefully flip it over so you know which side to put the glue on. Put your glue, flip it back, glue side down, glue's on there. Okay, and that one was a purple one, so let's see, how about I do a yellow one next? Okay, so I take this, get that glue out of there. I put it on top so I know which way it's supposed to go. All my folds are lined up. Turn it over, putting the glue onto the little piece. You're going to remember this all the way through 8th grade. You want to put the glue on the piece, this little piece, not the whole thing. Okay, then we flip it back, lining it up so these are all in line right here. See, you can see they're starting to stack up, right? But you want to press it down so it's nice and glued. Remember, we don't go boom, 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 boom. We just press. We don't make our teachers crazy by banging on whatever we're gluing, okay? All right, so here's this. We got the next one. We line it up so we know how it goes. Turn it over. Glue. Pick it up. Let it come over here. Still always lining up these folds on the middle. Press. Starting to get thicker. Okay, next guy. Line it up. Turn it over so we know which side to put the glue on. Glue, glue, glue. Pick it back up. Flip it over so the glue side is down. Lining up everything. Press. Okay, we have 2 left. Let's see, I want to have this one next. Line it up so you know which way. Turn it over to the side here. Put on your glue. Pick it back up. Put it on here. Press it down. Make sure they're all lined up. You will have done so many of these, you could probably teach somebody else how to do this. And now the last one, so you line it up, then you turn it over to the side so you know which side the glue goes on. Put that glue down there. Pick it up, put it on here, lining up. It's important to line up all these middles here, it really is, because you'll have a more successful flower at the end. And then we really want to make sure that these are nice and glued. You might even put a book on top of it for 10 minutes or something, but we don't have time to wait 10 minutes right here. So now that you have this, your last step on the flower part is to put glue on this piece right here, and then stick it down like you're turning the pages of a book, and you're going to stick it down on this side. So this purple guy right here has glue on the back. You're just going to hold that and stick it to your card. And when it's all glued and nice, what you have is a beautiful tulip with all these different colors in it, like a pop-up tulip. So now you know how to make a pop-up. Okay, there is one last step. You need to have a stem, not some stem, but a stem. And I have, these are acrylic paints. You'll probably be using watercolors, or you could use crayons or markers, whatever you have. But I happen to have these sitting right here, so I'm going to make a stem. So I'm going to get a little bit of this green paint, and being careful not to get it on my flower, I'm just going to line up right in the middle here and make a stem that comes down like that. And the leaves on this kind of plant start down here, and they kind of come up, and they go like that. And you could have another leaf. I have a few different colors of green on my palette here, so I'm going to give you a different color. So we start down here, and then they kind of come up like that. Okay. Now if you want to get real picky with it, you can get a smaller brush. I just don't have a small brush handy. Actually, yes I do. I have a small brush right here, because maybe you want the ends of your stem or your leaves here to be a little bit more precise. If you want, you don't have to. Okay, so I just wanted to make a little point on the end of that. And then look at this, you can even turn it upside down when you're painting. Some people don't realize that you can actually turn things upside down if it's easier for you. Okay, so now you have this beautiful pop-up three-dimensional tulip flower with a stem, and once it's dry, inside you can write a beautiful message or a poem. And if you liked making that haiku that we did last week, you can do another one in here, or just write a nice message or draw a little picture for your mom in there, and now you have your tulip card. So you'll be all set for Mother's Day. All right, good job everybody. Remember to send pictures so that I can see what your artwork looks like, and I miss you, and I'll see you again one of these days. Bye-bye. Have a great day.